our grow chart and how to use it. We have three different factors on how to go and use it: soil, soilless, cocoa, or anything that's like sawdust, or anything that has a very small particles that holds vast amount of water. We have hydroponics, and it does not matter what type of growing medium you use in there, that is your preference. And then we have the aggressive hydroponics, which gets very, very interesting. We're going to talk about the soil first. When you start with grow A and grow B, at the very beginning, you want to enter so many milliliters into each volume of water. By doing that, you give the nutrition to the plants that you want. Then what you do is you go over and make your decision whether you want to use Power Thrive with Let's Start, Let's Flower, and Let's Fruit series. We always recommend that you use the red section with Power to Bloom and Oomph Power. Once you've made a decision, you can use all of them together, you can use part of them together, but it depends on how you grow is how your garden is going to react and what nutrients you should be putting in. So we start off with 40 mils of each product into 10 liters of water. If you have 100 liters of water, you just do the math and add the proper amount. You should be putting 400 mils of each element into your volume of water. But when you go and water your plants, what you want to go and do is you want to have at least a 10% runoff on the bottom of the nutrition coming out of the bottom of the plants. With that 10% runoff, you get a chance to flush the mineral elements out of the growing medium, because that growing medium will hold nutrition. And a plant, as we talk later in hydroponics, is going to go and use about 200 ppm by the time you go and water the plant again. And you can have a buildup of salts left over in the growing medium. And next time you add another you add another 1,000 ppm of nutrition to your plants. And the plants use up approximately 200 over the next 4 days. Now you are trying to go and make sure that your soil dries out by the time you get to the third or fourth day. If your soil is drying out faster than that, then you probably do not have the proper volume of growing medium in soil. We would request or like to see you use small containers, but once you get your use small containers and put them into the plants into larger containers as they grow. This also allows the plants to be closer together so you can look after them under such things as fluorescent lights. But once you have them being transferred from one container to another, you want to try your final container is going to be 1 gallon of growing medium per month of growth. So if you're growing for 2 weeks, you're flowering for 8 weeks, at that point what you want to be doing is you want to have at least a 3-gallon container, and that'll hold enough space for the roots. What happens with the roots, if the root starts growing around and around like so on top of each other, the plants have a natural ability of adjusting the nutrients, the pH of the growing medium. What happens is you're working against each other with the roots, because the roots are in contact with each other, going around and around. If you have a separation, they're going to change the pH of the nutrient solution, the growing medium, to make those mineral elements more available so that they can pick up the different salts that they're after when they want them. So try to get at least a 10% runoff so you wash away some of the nutrition. When you go into the back of our this talk that we're doing with you today, we're going to have some charts and PDF forms that you can open up and take a look at the nutrition. Deliver 1,000 ppm, they use 200, you have 800 left over. Deliver another 1,000, you have 1,800 in the growing medium, the plants use approximately 200, you got 16 left over. Added some more plant food, you're now up to 2,600, and the pressure on the plant is going to get stronger and stronger, and at a certain point you're going to have an imbalance of the nutrients that you want. At that point, I would like you to take a look at the mineral wheel. You probably can't see this at this point, but if you can read it, we have a bunch of different minerals that are all associated with each other. When you go and start playing with the nutrients, adding this and adding that, and if you really don't know what you're doing, you're going to create an imbalance. And once that imbalance is there, these arrows that are on here are going to have a relationship with each nutrient. Calcium, for instance, will touch almost every nutrition that you deliver to the plant. So take a look. There's no sense talking about here. It's too great for you for information. But this again is at the back under the knowledge. Knowledge is the key to success with the mineral wheel. Now we got hydroponics. I would like you, we're still in growth, we're in hydroponics, and what I'd like to go and do at this time is explain to you, if you haven't played with hydroponics, I would like you to try it. It's a faster and better method of growing. It is a better way of growing than soils because we have that buildup of mineral elements. But in hydroponics, this way here is a very simple way for you to get to understand what we're doing. A little bit of so many milliliters per nutrient change. Keep feeding it, remove the water, remove that water every 4 days. At the end of the 4 days, a lot of the mineral elements has come up. And this is where we've learned that the plant uses approximately 200 ppm. We remove all that water, make up a fresh batch, deliver it to the plants, and we're ready to go. And you keep on going down the chart. Same amount each time. Quite simple to use, but it gives you an understanding and it gets you into the factors that you know to remove the water at the end of 4 days from your nutrient solution reservoirs and bring in new water. We're going to enter the aggression side of the hydroponics with my formulas. When you deliver my formula, one thing I want you to take into consideration that we feel we built our fertilizers very, very, very perfectly by not having any high peaks in the fertilizers of a certain element. That means we can push the plant and we can push the plant harder because everything is in a balanced form. And those spikes that would be in some fertilizers will become toxic to the plants because they're too strong. So what we have is an aggressive push here. When you start off in veg, you're going to start off at 1,000 ppm. You're going to raise the ppm by 50 ppm every 4 days. By raising it by every 50 ppm every 4 days, you can gradually increase the pressure to the plant. By pushing the plant hard, you're going to get more growth out of it. You're going to get more fertilizer salts built up into it. So what happens is we start at 1,000 ppm. 4 days later, we're at 1,050. 4 days later, we're at 1,100. At a certain point, you're going to want to start flowering your plants. You as the gardener must make the decision when it's time to go and flower because we're not in your room helping you out at all, but trying to explain through this video that may help you to understand. If you're growing tall plants, you're going to grow them for a longer period of time. If you're growing a lot of small plants, you're going to keep them short. You're going to flower them earlier. So once you get to the stage where you're going to go into flowering, increase it by 50 ppm. On our chart, so we can continue following it through, we left at 1,100 on veg. We're going to start off at 1,100 on flowering for 4 days, and we're going to increase the ppm, 50 ppm, every 4 days when we do our nutrient change. At a certain point, you're going to find the plants can't hold the fertilizer salts that we're giving the plant. So what we got to do at that stage is we got to back off on the plant. Back off on it, maybe drop it 100 ppm, maybe 50 ppm, but through time you'll understand how to back off on it and where to stop the back off. Allow the plants to gather their energy, get feeling good about the salts that they're sitting in, and then push them again. Keep pushing them until they cannot handle the push anymore. You may have to back off, but mark all of this on your calendar. By marking this on your calendar, you know when to correct it, you know when to stop it. Another way of looking at the push is to monitor the color of the plants. Light yellow, push hard. You can jump a few mils or ppm every 50 ppm, 100 ppm every 4 days until you get to a proper green. Our green should be darker than a regular green. This way here we know the plants have lots of nutrition, they're responding to the light, and they're going to get the energy from the light that they need. Now what we've done here is we've given high quality lights. If you look at our chapter on delivering over 35 watts to 50 watts per square foot of growing area. By following this push, this high light, we're causing a driving force within the plant. And it's a university explanation, and I don't think you really want to understand it, but basically light yellows, increase it by 2 or 3 mils. Dark green, back off on it a little bit. This gives you the opportunity to monitoring what's happening to plants, and you got to watch it. And again, when you go into your next grow, you're going to understand when you've done these things. By the time you get to your third crop, you're going to have your plants well understood on how hard you can push them, when you need to back off, when you need to push, and then you can go and harvest the plants and enjoy them.